Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another film review. Hope you're all having a wonderful December Christmas time. Tonight we're looking at a slasher classic called The Slumber Party Massacre. Now I believe this is the 80s and when this come out, I was dating a girl at the time and we saw this and we just laughed and laughed and laughed through it, giggled all the way through it. And I watched it again and I just still laughed at the film. This is the 4K presentation being re-released by 101 Films. And I just think it's such a cool, fun slasher movie. You know, it's like a sort of kind of like, it's a little bit like Pieces, a little bit like The Mutilator, but not like them at all in the same sort of vein. It's based on these high school girls and that, and the parents of one of them's going away, so they're arranging this little slumber party, which is just for the girls at the house. But there's a crazed killer that's escaped prison. Now, he doesn't waste time. He sort of kills a girl straight away, and then we see our jocks at the high school chatting up this sort of electrician, this sort of woman is electrician, and they try chatting her up, and she gets dragged into the van and killed by our killer. And we see our killer pretty much straight away. He's not sort of like hiding or nothing. And this is what's different about this film, and this is why we laughed at it, because he's not like a masked killer like Jason or Michael or anything like that. He's just an ordinary looking sort of guy. But he sort of runs around all the time with this sort of like big long drill. It's hysterical. And then one of the girls goes back into the school to pick something up before they're going home, and she gets locked in the school, and then she's sort of pursued by our killer in the school, and we get the sort of infamous chase scene in the locker room with him chasing her with his big sort of drill. There's a lot of nudity in the film, so there's not a lot of clips I can really show you from it. And I don't want to show you too much because it's not a long film. It lasts about an hour and 15 minutes. It's not very long. But it is really cool fun. It's got so many good elements in it that's fun. The characters are likable. It's really well shot, really, but it's the killer that's hilarious. Because he's like just this normal guy and he's just killing everyone with this sort of drill. And so it's really, really cool. It does remind me a lot of The Mutilator, to be honest, in that sort of atmosphere of the film. And the slumber party takes off, and it's just the girls. There's two guys spying in the window, watching them get undressed, and we've got the next door neighbour who's supposed to be keeping an eye on them. He gets killed by our killer, and then the killer stalks the girls at their sort of slumber party. And that sort of synopsis I'm going to give you. It's a great film. It is so cool. I absolutely love the film. When I watched it, it just reminded me how cheesy and how awful, but how great this film is. Now, the pluses of this edition, the transfer is okay. It's not amazing 4K, but it's still pretty good. It's almost like a good quality sort of Blu-ray print, more so than a 4K print. This is what I keep telling you about these sort of companies. 101 Film, Arrow, 88 Film, their 4Ks are really not a lot different to the Blu-ray. So always try and opt for the Blu-ray if you can. Now, I couldn't with this because it's only had a 4K release. It comes with the 4K disc and the Blu-ray, and it comes with the Slumber Party Massacre 2, which is also in my box set. You may have seen the box set. It was in my top 10 physical releases of the year. The film's really good fun though. The characters are quite likable. The killer's a bit weird, and the sad story about the killer is that he died a few days ago, and that's really sad to hear. In real life, he died. But yeah, when I was when my lad watched this at home, the day he watched it, the guy that played the killer died, and it was like, whoa, that's a bit eerie. But that was a bit sad. The kills are okay. They're sort of semi on screen, semi off screen. There's a bit of gore in the film. There's, it's a nice little bit. Nothing major. I believe this did get a video nasty sort of rating. I don't think it was like in the sort of like the 72, but I think it was one of the other sort of grades of the video nasty. Obviously, because a lot of the problem with video nasties was household tools and things that people could use to kill other people, and obviously this one's got a drill, so I think that's probably why it hit the sort of video nasty thing, because of the way it sort of is. But apart from that, the film's great. I'm going to give it a really amazing watch and give it an 8 out of 10. It's not a 9 out of 10, it's not a 10 out of 10, but it's definitely an 8 out of 10. It's definitely worth having this in your collection if you are a big fan of slasher films. It is an 18 certification. It comes in a box set with Slumber Party Massacre 2 and a booklet and etc. in a sort of hard box by 101 Films, and it's quite a good release by them. I enjoyed it, and I thought, well, I'll check this out because it's a cool film. And I like I said to you, I'm not doing any Christmas sort of horror films this year, so I thought I still wanted to have one slasher though in there. So I've put in this one because it's something that I've had sitting here in my watch pile for a few weeks, and I thought, well, let's give that a watch. A bit thirsty today, but yeah, really cool film. Definitely worth having in your collection if you are a big sort of 80s cheesy slasher fan. It's a must. Slumber Party Massacre, 8 out of 10. Any of you guys seen it? If you have, let me know down below. It's not a rememberable one as such, because it's very cliched by all the others that have come out before it. But that doesn't take this away from being fun. Like I said, because the characters are fun, there's a little bit of a fun script going on. There's loads of little jump scares, and there's like a crazed killer in it. So it's all good cheesy popcorn fun, and I really highly recommend it. So guys, until my next video, please check out some horror channels. Check out Horror Hands, Horror Geek, Man View Film, RS Design, Pizzawell, The Maniac, Cat Watches Horror Movies, and Grumpy Andrew's Haunted House. And a massive shout out to my lad. Till next time, look after yourselves, look after one another, and I really hope I'll see you all soon.